In the quiet village of Nyandoro, whispers of a great lion roamed the night. Known as Sakoma, this mythical lion was said to protect the village from evil spirits and wild beasts that prowled the forests. No one had ever seen Sakoma up close, yet its presence was believed to have kept the village safe for generations. The people of Nyandoro told stories of how, long ago, the lion appeared in the dark of night, roaring at the skies, and every calamity was said to cease. Kato, a skilled hunter, had always been fascinated by the tales of Sakoma. But recently, the village had been plagued by strange omens. The river had dried up early, and flocks of birds left the area. Some elders whispered that Sakoma had disappeared. Kato made a vow he would venture into the wilderness to find the lion and return its blessing to his people. Armed with his spear, a leather pouch of herbs, and a talisman from his late father, Kato set out before dawn, determined to uncover the truth behind the legend. As Kato journeyed deeper into the forest, he encountered strange tracks that looked like the paw prints of a lion. His heart raced. Was this the sign he was looking for? Following the trail, he suddenly heard a voice calling from behind. Another hunter, a wiry man named Jabari, stepped out of the shadows. "You're looking for Sakoma, aren't you?" he asked with a smirk. Kato nodded cautiously. Jabari claimed to have seen the lion with his own eyes just a few days prior. According to him, Sakoma was massive, with a golden mane that shimmered in the sunlight like fire. But Jabari also warned that the lion had eyes of stone, cold and unforgiving. Kato listened, intrigued, but something about Jabari's description felt wrong. The lion Kato had imagined from the stories was regal, yes, but not soulless. He thanked Jabari and continued his journey, more determined but also confused. As dusk fell, Kato made camp near an ancient baobab tree. He could hear the distant howls of jackals and the rustle of the wind through the tall grass. Sleep came slowly, but when it did, Kato dreamed of a lion's roar echoing through the mountains. In the morning, he was awakened by the arrival of another hunter, a tall woman named Amina, who had also heard of Sakoma. Amina had a different tale. She had crossed paths with the lion during a full moon. It wasn't golden, she said, shaking her head. Its coat was silver, glowing like the moon itself, and its eyes were gentle, almost wise. Kato felt a chill. Two hunters, two completely different stories. Could both be true? Amina's version of the lion seemed closer to the stories he had grown up with, but the contradictions troubled him. He bid her farewell and pressed on, unsure of what to believe. The deeper Kato ventured into the forest, the more twisted the landscape became. Trees, thick with vines, seemed to close in around him, and the underbrush grew dense, making every step a challenge. Kato's mind raced with the conflicting descriptions of the lion. What was true, and what was myth? Was there even a lion to find? Suddenly, he stumbled upon a clearing, where an old hunter named Chuma was resting beside a fire. Looking for Sakoma? Chuma chuckled when Kato told him of his quest. "I've seen the lion, but not how others describe. This lion is black as night, its fur like the shadows, and its roar. It shakes the earth." Kato stared in disbelief. A black lion? How could this be? The stories were becoming more puzzling by the day. Kato thanked Chuma and decided it was time to seek guidance, for these clues were leading him nowhere. The deeper Kato ventured into the forest, the more twisted the landscape became. Trees, thick with vines, seemed to close in around him, and the underbrush grew dense, making every step a challenge. Kato's mind raced with the conflicting descriptions of the lion. What was true, and what was myth? Was there even a lion to find? In search of clarity, Kato made his way to the small hut of Elder Zuberi, the village's wisest man. Zuberi had been a guide to many generations of hunters, and was known to have deep knowledge of the forest and its creatures. As Kato approached, his heart sank. The hut was eerily silent. When he entered, he found Zuberi lying still on his sleeping mat, his chest no longer rising and falling with breath. Kato knelt beside the elder, sorrow weighing him down. The one man who could have answered his questions was gone. But as Kato sat in the stillness, he noticed a carved wooden lion placed beside Zuberi's mat. It was not golden, nor silver, nor black, but a blend of colors, as though carved from many different pieces of wood. A single note was tied to it: "The lion you seek is not just one. Follow your heart." Armed with this cryptic message, Kato resumed his journey. He wandered through dense forests, over rocky hills, and across dried-up rivers, listening to the whispers of the wind. Each step brought him closer to something, though what? He was not sure. Kato began to realize that the lion may not be as simple as a physical creature. It was a symbol, a guardian that represented something deeper. The wilderness itself began to feel alive, as if it were guiding him. Birds fluttered from tree to tree, seeming to beckon him forward. Even the rustle of the leaves seemed to speak in a language he couldn't quite understand. Perhaps Sakoma is all around, Kato thought, or perhaps it is the essence of the land itself. As Kato followed the mysterious signs of the forest, he came across a tribe he had never seen before. They were nomadic people, living deep in the heart of the wilderness, far removed from Nyandoro's borders. The tribe's leader, an old woman named Mori, welcomed Kato and listened to his story. "You seek Sakoma, but you are not the first," she said with a knowing smile. Mori told him of hunters who had come before, each with their own version of Sakoma. "The lion is many things," she explained, but it is only revealed to those who seek truth, not glory. Kato spent the night with the tribe, and as the fire crackled, Mori told him that the true lion was more than a beast. It was the protector of balance, the harmony between man, nature, and spirit. Kato awoke at dawn with a renewed sense of purpose. He realized that his journey was not about finding a single lion, but about understanding what the lion represented. The forest was testing him, teaching him that protection came not from one source, but from many: the land, the people, the ancestors. But still, he had to see Sikoma with his own eyes. He ventured deeper into the wilderness, now following his instincts. The air grew heavier, and the shadows danced around him. Kato could feel something approaching. A faint growl echoed through the trees, and suddenly there it was, a lion, but not one he had imagined. Its fur shimmered with gold, silver, and black, and its eyes, deep and wise, gazed into his soul. The lion stood before Kato, majestic and powerful, yet peaceful. Kato did not raise his spear. He did not feel fear. Instead, he knelt before the great beast. "You are Sikoma," he whispered, finally understanding. The lion, in its many forms, had always been watching over the village. It was not just a protector, but a symbol of unity between the village and the wilderness. Sikoma let out a low growl, not of anger but of acknowledgement. Kato understood that the lion had been guiding him all along, through the other hunters, the signs of the forest, and the wisdom of Elder Zuberi. This lion was the embodiment of all the stories, the guardian spirit that watched over the land and its people. Kato returned to Nyandoro, not with the lion in tow, but with a newfound understanding. The villagers gathered as he approached, eager to hear of his journey. He told them of the lion not as one creature but as the spirit that lived within the forest and the village alike. The people listened in awe, understanding for the first time that Sikoma had never left them. The river began to flow once again, the birds returned to the trees, and the village of Nyandoro was at peace. Kato became known as the hunter who found Sikoma, but more importantly, as the one who understood its true nature. The lion was not just a protector of the village, it was the soul of the land, the people, and the harmony that bound them together.